podcast makes people want more because they know they can save money, and not just save money, but be able to become more wealthy and keep their money that they've worked so hard to earn. Isn't that true, Alan? And be protected.
Yeah, absolutely true. It's protected. You're protected, free from taxes, long-term care options that are tax-free. The list goes on and on. But today, Neil, what I want to concentrate on is how to show people how to become debt-free for life. Now, I'm sure a lot of people out there have heard of Dave Ramsey and Susie Orman. They do the snowball effect, and I'm not sure, but I've heard you had to pay for Dave Ramsey's program to become debt-free for life. And it works, but he wants to change your entire lifestyle. But what I want to do is educate people on the effective tax rate that they're paying, because they have no idea what that is. And that's true for 99% of the people I talk to include CPAs, attorneys, and financial planners. And it's just like you, when I first told you about it, you had no idea what it was. But I'm going to give you an example of what we do. I'm going to give you an example of one of my clients. It completely changed his life. It's one of the most emotional presentations I ever made. He said it made dreams for him come true that he never thought possible. But what I want to do is, I want to start off, I'm going to do a couple PowerPoint presentations, and then I'll show you my client that I had. But people need to understand where their money goes and who it's compounding for. It's not compounding for the individuals. And you'll hear me in one of my presentations here. You know, Einstein said compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Those who understand it will benefit from it, and those who don't will pay it. And probably 99% of all Americans out there are paying compound interest to the financial institutions, compounding for the financial institutions and not for yourself. But that's what I want to do, and that's what I want to show you how we do that today.
And it was what I was going to say before that, Alan, to give you feedback, is that this information, not many financial planners are going to give you, for sure. They're never going to give you this, and not many people that do what you do.
Well, there's only a handful of us. So I'm part of a group called Smart Advisor, and that's what we do. We show people how to have a tax-free life, how to reduce or eliminate both taxes and debt, and give you more income, how to become your own bank. It's a whole different paradigm shift in people's thinking. And I know nobody likes to change, but people need to change, because if they don't, it's going to end up costing them both financially and mentally. Because one of the things about retirement, it's already proven by a study at Harvard that if you have guaranteed income in retirement, you're going to live a less stressful, more carefree life in retirement, because you don't have to worry about the market going up and down. But I'm going to cover that in another podcast down the road, to just show you the difference of what products that we use and how we protect people. But if you want me to, I'll just go ahead and get started now. Okay?
I'm excited because debt-free for life, I did follow the Dave Ramsey thing, and then somebody didn't like that process, because you have to pretty much live like you're a monk.
Yeah, I mean,
not enjoy life, he has certain things that are great, but you have to basically never enjoy life to become debt-free.
Exactly right. And I agree with about 50% of what Dave Ramsey and Susie Orman and Money Magazine say. You know, one of the things, buy term and invest the difference. That's the absolute worst advice I've ever heard in my life, because 99% of the people are not going to buy, or going to buy the term, but they're not going to invest the difference. Just go out and spend it. And when they do invest the difference, they have no idea what they're investing. They don't know what the fees. They don't know what the financial product is, and they rely on a stockbroker or something like that, or a 401k plan. But let me go ahead and get started on this, and let me share my screen with you. Let me get this up.
And I'll add this till the screen is shared. Again, you guys are listening to Strategic Wealth Strategies podcast, and also on the nationally syndicated Neil Haley show. And this information is so valuable, because if you don't know what's going on with your money, and you have a financial planner today and do not know what's going on with your money, and you're spending all this money, and then you have to hope that when you retire, that your wealth is at the right place, because you never know when another COVID hits, you never know when another stock market crash hits, or another recession. You don't have to worry about this following your plan, Alan.
Well, you're absolutely right. Now, this particular graph is put out by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Anybody can get this graph. But I deal with two types of people. People that have money and the people that want money. And the people that have money, the number one thing they want me to do is to avoid any types of losses because they worked hard for it. They got an inheritance. There's many ways that they can get this money. But one thing I found out about the people that want money, they want to know the strategies, the financial strategies that these people have used to accumulate their wealth. And this is one of the ways they do it. Now understand, 40% of all the money that we make before and after retirement is going to pay some form of tax. And I've had a lot of people, Neil, tell me that, well, listen, I'm not in a 40% tax bracket. I said, do you realize there's over 52 different types of taxes we pay? Not only do we have federal tax, we've got state tax, income tax, we've got sales tax, we got property taxes. There's taxes on a pack of gum, but there's 52 different, and there's going to be more. You can believe me. So basically, the big problem with that is that money is lost forever. That money will never compound for you.
Yeah, definitely.
You can do about it. Now, 25% of our money is going to go to livestock, but the other 25% is going to go to debt. Now, that lifestyle will include your house, your car, clothes you wear, but we all, as Americans, we all like to get nicer things. And we've got, I think, over $9 trillion in debt. And they just approved another $6 billion or so in credit cards over the last, I think it was 9 months. So Americans are in debt tremendously. But the thing is, what we want to do is show people how to get out of debt much, much faster. But that 25% debt, the other problem with that money is lost forever because that money is going to some financial institution and it's compounding for them and not for you. And I'm going to show the importance of that. But what that does, that only leaves this 10% of savings, which you can, if you're fortunate enough to put into a 401k or stock portfolio or something like that. But what we do is, here's the other thing I want to bring out. You can go outside your door and 100 miles all the way around and probably find 100 different investors that, okay, we'll take this 10%. And what we want to do with it, we'll give you a rate of return, or we're going to time the market for you to build your wealth. Well, that's not the way you do it. But what we want to do, we want to reduce or eliminate both taxes and debt. And when we do that, that's a much larger piece of the pie that we can use. And we're not asking you to just, okay, if we save you taxes or debt, we're not asking you to do something, but it's going to give you more options, okay? But understand this, we're paid to eliminate problems and not create new ones. And people, especially in retirement, it's not how much income I will have in retirement. It's not how much money you have before taxes in retirement. It's how much money you have after taxes. And the other biggest thing in retirement is my income guarantee. Now, stock portfolio is not going to give you guaranteed income.
No, it's not.
Only fixed and fixed index annuities insurance products are going to give you guaranteed income that are guaranteed for the rest of your life. Now, your accumulation value may run out.
Exactly. And so, Alan, the other types of things that people invest in stock, like certain bonds that are guaranteed, like savings bonds, things like that the government has created, they're very minimal and they really don't return a huge amount of investment. Just kind of let people understand the risk of the stock market and doing all these things versus what you're trying to show. This is going to be a guaranteed return that it's also going to save you money in your taxes and help you live the right lifestyle you want to live before retirement. These things, so you're not paying as much to the federal government, Uncle Sam, you're paying yourself for things and then have things at the end when you retire. And and you're not going to hit that huge thing when the money finally goes, meaning, okay, I retired. Now I'm going to cash out my retirement. Oh no, I'm going to pay a ton to Uncle Sam then. And you're helping in this process to kind of summarize what you're talking about so far and continue.
Well, just like with the fixed or fixed index annuities. Now there's variable annuities also, but I don't promote those because they have very high fees and they're tied to the market.
Right, exactly.
Everything. But with fixed and fixed index annuities, as a perfect example, you can have $1 million in a stock portfolio at age 65 and a 4% distribution rate. That used to be a safe distribution rate. Now you got a 50-50 chance of that money lasting until 90. And I asked people, I said, would you get on an aircraft that's taking off and going to Miami and you have a 50% chance of making it? I said, I don't think so. But In a $1 million portfolio, a 4% distribution rate at 65, that's $40,000 a year, correct?
Correct.
You'd only have to have approximately $650,000 in certain fixed or fixed indexed annuities to give you that same $40,000 a year guaranteed for the rest of your life, and possibly guaranteed for the rest of your spouse's life or your kids or your grandkids. It all depends on how you set it up. Of course, the distribution is going to be a little bit less, but there's more people that are going to be involved with guaranteed income. And the thing about, people ask me, well, what's the interest rate on return? What's the rate of return on the annuity? I said, well, it depends on how long you live. The longer you live, the greater the rate of return. I said, as you get older, the distribution rate from annuities gets larger. I mean, it can go up to 14%, like when I guess when you're 80 years old or something like that. You try to take 14% out of a stock portfolio and see how soon that goes to zero.
Truly.
That's just things that people don't understand or don't know, and that they need to be educated. And that's my biggest thing, is I want to educate people on the financial strategies and the ways that people, the tax laws. The tax laws change all the time, and that's part of my team. I have a team of people that work on these tax laws, and we take advantage of these tax laws. And we show how people to do it, because the wealthy are doing it, the people know the tax laws are doing it. So why can't we do it?
And we want to become the wealth. That's the bottom line.
Exactly right.
We don't want to go and be like, most of the people that are employed, just living paycheck to paycheck and not, and having tremendous amount of debt and worrying about, what if I lose my job? What if I do this? Or what if I get ill, for God's sake? And that's the other thing about these life programs, these whole life programs that are different than what other people, is that you're not going to end up where, if you do get ill, you're not going to lose your house. If you do get ill, you're not going to have the money for certain things, like, God forbid, a nursing home or something like that. You're going to have the money to do these things. You're going to be able to have a nurse come into your home. All these things, instead of giving money to Uncle Sam at the end and not even be able to use that money, which we talked about in episode 1.
Well, I mean, it's just like, I don't know if you remember when my daughter-in-law contracted pancreatic cancer at age 39. If it had not been for the terminal illness rider, that she could access up to 90% of that cash value, which was in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, my son would be bankrupt, and it took a huge financial strain off of me, because my son was disabled. He didn't get his disability for 3.5 years, and that's only after we hired an attorney. But people, and I, at that time, that's what got me into this business. That's why I'm so passionate about it, because people do not understand, or are not educated on the value proposition that we present to our clients through insurance products. Okay, let me stop my share there. And let me bring one more up here.
Okay, great. Well, so far the information, as Alan's doing this, you're listening to Strategic Wealth Strategies podcast here on the Neil Haley Show, and also as a podcast. Any questions and comments, you go to Alan Porter, and his information is right on the right hand of the screen. As I see a word that, man, oh man, debt-free for life. How would I love to be debt-free for life and have money coming in and not having to pay so much in taxes? I'm a student as well as you are, so let's continue.
Well, this is what I want to show you, how the debt-free for life works. A lot of people know how the Snowball program works, because basically that's the way Dave Ramsey says. But as you said before, you give up your lifestyle. And the biggest thing, they'll pay it off sooner, but you'll have nothing to show for it afterwards, except being debt-free, which is absolutely great. But here's the other thing too. What I want to show people is how to become debt-free for life. Do not change your lifestyle. And then set yourself up to become your own personal banker, where you never have to borrow from financial institutions again. You're borrowing from yourself, compounding interest for yourself instead of the financial institutions. Think about buying a car, taking that money out from a cash value life insurance policy, paying yourself back instead of financial institutions. Now, that's another presentation I'll do, but it's pretty powerful. But debt-free for life, how does it work? Understanding the debt snowball, the debt elimination strategy, the traditional debt snowball in action. Let's say that you have 3 debts. You have a credit card with an $1,847 balance. You have a student loan with a $23,318 balance, and an auto loan for $27,905. Well, your credit card minimum payment is $71 a month. Your student loan is $643, and your car payment is $413. So the regular snowball, what you do, that's a total payment of $1,127. So what you do you'll pay this credit card off, take the money that you were paying on that credit card, then pay this one off, and take those two combined and pay that off. So basically, the strategy here is to take your excess cash monthly budget and pay off towards your lowest balance of that account first, and continue this process until that account is completely paid off. And like I said, what you're doing, you're going to pay that off, and then you're going to go down and pay that one off. And when that's done, you're going to go down and pay that one off. And this is what it looks like. Your credit card payment, oh, that's just a snowball effect. But let's say that you have $500 extra of extra cash that you're paying towards your bills or anything. And let's say now you've got excess cash monthly budget of $500. All right, so now you're paying $571 to that credit card. Once that credit card is paid off, now you're going to pay into your student loan. So you've got the student loan plus the $71, that's $1,214 to pay off this debt. And then when that gets done, now what you've got is the student loan, the credit card, and the automobile payment. That's $1,627. And now you've got you're debt free. Everything's paid off, and you're 100% debt free. And congratulations for doing it. But as I said before, compound interest by Einstein is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it, and he who doesn't will pay it. And the problem, Neil, 99% of Americans are paying it to the financial institution, not to themselves. And guess if you're in debt, guess which one applies to you?
I'm the one paying it.
But this is what I do. This is what the smart advisors do. There's a very few of us in this country that know how to do this. And what we do is we set up an SDIC account. And what that stands for is a specially designed insurance contract. This is a whole life insurance contract. And that's what this debt-free account debt-free for life account is an SDIC. So what we do, you continue to make your minimum monthly payments on all your bills, but that excess monthly payment goes into your cash value life insurance, which now you have a death benefit that you can use for long-term care or a legacy for your family or favorite charity. But as that account builds up, when it reaches the credit card debt limit of what the balance on your credit card, you're going to get a text, and it's going to say, take a loan from your insurance policy and pay that debt off. But instead of that debt here going to pay off the student loan, compounding for the financial institutions and not for yourself, now you're paying yourself back, okay? It's compounding for you, paying that loan back. And as this SDIC starts to build value, it's going to get to a point where there's $22,300 excess cash value, tax-free, into that policy. You're going to get a text, take a loan from your policy, pay that student loan off. But now that's $643 and that $71 are now being paid back into your SDIC, okay? And then when it gets to the balance of $29 or $27,905 to pay this off, you're going to get another text on your phone. Take a loan from your cash value policy and pay that debt off. And then a little over 2 years after that, if you keep paying, because you don't have to pay the policy loans back if you don't want to, okay? They're just deducted off the death benefit. But when you're complete, you're debt free for life with money in your cash account. Now, this is very important. If you do nothing, okay, just making the minimum payments, June 2027. If you do the debt snowball, when you have the extra $500, like with Dave Ramsey and such, you'll have paid off about 3.5 years earlier, but there's no cash value here. And you've changed your lifestyle, okay? With us, you've got the $500 extra that's going to a specially designed insurance contract. But look at this. That's $17,618 in the tax-free account.
Wow.
That you become your own banker. Now, this is just a small debt scenario. What I'm going to show you is a different debt scenario on a gentleman. He's retired military. He was 42 when he retired. And I showed him one of my tax-free plans for an index universal life insurance policy. And he wanted to do it, but then COVID hit. He says, Alan, I just retired. I've got a new job, but I want to fund one of these tax-free retirement policies that you were telling me about. But I can't do it right now because I'm not sure how COVID is going to affect my life. So basically what I did, and I'll get that to you in a minute, because I've got to bring up another screen here. So I'm going to stop share on this one. and I'll bring
This is
one more.
tremendous information so far that we're learning again on strategic wealth strategies with our host, Alan Porter, and also on the Neil Haley Show. What we're learning is specifically enough that you're going to have more money in the bank that you can use for loans, for different things in a cash value, and protect you if you do get hurt or something, and then that money comes to you. It's very, very important what you're creating, instead of paying into it, paying it off, but having nothing after it's paid off, versus what you've shown so far. But this is going to be very interesting what you're going to show us next.
Well, now what I want to show you, and I'm telling you, Neil, 99% of people have no idea what the effective interest rate is they're paying on their bills. So I told the guy, I said, listen, I want to do that tax-free retirement plan for you, but what kind of debt do you have? He says, well, we bought a new house. We got a couple car payments. We got about, I don't know, seven different bills. I said, what's the interest rate on your mortgage? He said, it's 2.75. I said, what's the effective interest rate? Well, I don't know what you're talking about. I said, I'll tell you what, do this favor for me. I'm going to send you a form. I want you to fill it out. I want you to list the minimum payment, the interest rate, and the balance that you're making on these payments, I mean, on these bills. He said,
Right.
okay. So I said, we're going to do a Zoom conference the following week. And when I showed him this, I mean, it about floored him, but it's one of the most emotional presentations I've ever made. But he's paying 2.75% interest rate. I said, you've got a lot of debt here, $461,000, an average interest rate of 4.76 with all your bills. But this is not your problem. This is your problem right here. Your interest rate, effective interest rate on your mortgage is 49.7%.
Wow.
And your effective interest rate is 46.23%. So I asked him, I said, where are you investing in any 401k or financial vehicle that's going to give you a 46% return on your investment? That's illegal. He said, well, there's absolutely nowhere that I know of.
Right.
Not anywhere that I know of either. So I said, did you have a plan to get all your debt paid off? He said, well, yeah, we're kind of doing a snowball type thing. We're adding extra money to our mortgage and stuff. And in 22 years, we're going to have everything paid off.
Exactly.
Guess what? Let me show you this. We're going to have it paid off 14.17 years faster.
Okay.
Save you $73,000 in interest.
Wow.
From a regular snowball plan, or his scenario of a snowball plan.
Dave Ramsey or Suze Orman.
Yes. Just something like that. Yeah. But here's the thing. You can see right down here, because this is a report that I send out to my clients, and this shows up when they're paying off. And here's the thing too. Let's say you want to buy a new car and you go out and finance a new car. You can still add bills to this and it'll still keep paying them off. You just have to let me know and I can put it in the software. But here's the big thing. Look at this.
Wow.
In the 13th year, he's got $130,744 in a cash-free, tax-free cash account that he can become his own banker.
Okay.
Okay. He can send his kids to college. Now he's only 52.
Okay.
I think his death benefit was like $400,000. I can't remember right off the top of my head, but he can use that for a legacy for his family or a charitable contribution or whatever he wants to do with it. And long-term care, tax-free long-term care options there. He becomes his own bank. There's many, many things that you can do with the tax-free money in the cash value life insurance policy. And people do not know this because of lack of education, Neil. And this stuff, as far as I'm concerned, is taught in high school. But I know many PhDs in finance that have no idea what I'm talking about.
Okay, great.
But I mean, it's amazing what people don't know and what they need to know, because this is available to people out there. It's just, I want to get the word out to so many people. And when I found you, I said, my God, this is a godsend to me, because you've got $5 million audience. Now I advertise on LinkedIn and Facebook and all that, but when you hear somebody talk about it, and I think you can see the passion that I have for what I'm doing.
You truly have passion for it. And I wanted to add that to the point is, wow. And what you're talking about is not taught. And then when people figure this out And that's the process that we're putting together. More and more information is going to come out. And that's a great point you made, Alan. And not just the audience of my audience that listens to me and watches me every week. We're talking not just them, but we're talking your podcast. It's going to get to people that never knew about this because no one's doing what you're doing in your industry. So to hire Alan today, is we finished with the presentation for today's podcast, because I have so many more questions, but I want to save it for a next podcast, because you're just, if you are going through this and you're like in episode 2 and there's 20 episodes out, because we're going to be doing this for a while, you need to go and listen to each one of these episodes. But once you're saying, hey, I need to talk to Alan, you're available right now, right? By just either emailing people. You can email him at strategicwealth, the number 00 at gmail.com, or call 910-551-1046. And you can have a scheduled call with Alan today, right?
Exactly right. And Neil, I want to bring up one other thing. I've told you before, I operate my business like a doctor. I ask question after question. I expect these questions answered because I need to know what's in your heart, mind, what you want to happen with your future. Because if I did some feasibility study or some financial plan without those questions answered, it'd be malpractice. And I've got a team of people that I work with. I coordinate with top CPAs, tax specific attorneys, and other specialists in their field. And we collaborate and come up with a plan or a strategy that's going to solve people's problems. That's the biggest thing. See, my practice is process driven. It's not product driven.
Right.
And this is just one thing. I got tax free, how to retire tax free, get tax free income for life, how to save hundreds of thousands, not millions of dollars on other tax entities out there. They're giants in their field. Bob Larson, Raul Garuda, many people that I'm going to interview. They're part of my team, because not everybody can know everything. And I deal this with affluent clients. They said, well, Alan, I've got my CPA and my financial advisor or my attorney. They give me all my tax and financial advice. And I said, well, listen, I'm not here to replace your advisor, but what I want to tell you something, you may have the greatest advisors in the world, but it's what they don't know that's going to end up costing you hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in undue fees, taxes, and lost opportunity costs.
And it's all about America. Make more money. You shouldn't be disappointed when you're paying more in taxes. You should figure out where that money should go so you save as much as possible. And not,
yeah. And I read a Congressional Budget Office report 2 weeks ago. They're saying the wealthiest income people in the wealthiest bracket, tax is going to go 65%. And the people in the lowest tax bracket, 10% right now, is going to go 2.5 times to 25%. Now that's from the Congressional Budget Office. Now this is something that a lot of people don't understand. The January 1st, 2026, the people in the 12% tax bracket are automatically going into the 25% tax bracket.
Wow.
And everybody else's tax brackets are going up. It's not that much because that's over 100%. But very few people know that. And think about that. That's a lot of money when you're in that 12% minimum tax bracket. But there's so many things out there, Neil, that I want to tell people about and educate them about, and give them a better financial future and a much better future for their family.
You're breaking it down. You're somebody I wish I met 10, 20 years ago. I'm glad I have you now, because our mission is going to get out there. Because truly, the media giant understands someone's mission and then takes care of it and make sure that mission is taken care of. Because that's what I try to do. It's about giving back and providing great services, which you do, and partnering with organizations like yours that do this. So the best place now is go to Alan Porter really quickly by emailing strategicwealth0@gmail.com or 910-551-1046, or Google search Strategic Wealth Strategies podcast and go ahead and get the information you need so that you can have money for your family and create a legacy, versus giving it all to people that it's really unfair for how much you work for your money. He's going to work for your money far more than what we're dealing with today. And again, you could check out his certifications, all those different things. I appreciate it, Alan, for you stopping by again today with such great information.
Well, I appreciate you having me. I really enjoy this.
All right. That was the Strategic Wealth Strategies podcast and also the Neil Haley Show, guys. Take care.